Good evening. We, the unwilling, led by the unknowing, are doing the impossible for the ungrateful. We have done so much for so long with so little. We are now qualified to do anything with nothing.
I'm ordering you as a condition of your bond not to participate in this kind of behavior.
So I have before me Mr. Matalese Abednego Croma. Mr. Croma, you're before the court on 2021 CR 03992 and 2021 CR 03994 for driving on a suspended or revoked license 2 times. You were before this court and took a plea on the 29th day of September 2022, sentenced to 12 months on probation. You have 2 months and 23 days remaining. The sentence was told, and this is your second revocation. So you failed to report on June 26th of 2023. You failed to complete the community service. Your hours were commuted to community service, 145 hours of community service. You failed to pay, and you're $912 in arrears. So, Mr. Lynch, why hasn't Mr. Croma been able to do what I asked him to do?
I'll let Mr. Croma explain that in his own words at this point.
Okay. Well, when I was doing about the paying part, I had got into an accident, so that's why they had tried to switch over to the community service. Right, I got into an accident, so I wasn't working at the time. So then, when I was doing the community service, I was trying to do one like closer to where I lived at. He was saying come out here, but I ain't had no transportation to really come out here that early. So I was trying to do community service closer to where I lived at. So he put in for like a revocation hearing, but he told me to do the community service however much I was able to accumulate by the time I came to court. So that's what I did. But then when I came to court, I was like late. I was late for court. And then I never saw nobody. That was the last that I had heard from. I had did probably like 40.
Mr. Croma, how many hours of community service did you do, sir?
I probably did like 40 some hours at Brady Gym back then.
Brady Jail?
Brady Gym. College Park community, like the community center in College Park.
Okay, and you don't have the paperwork or anything?
No, I had it the day when I came to court. I had it.
But Mr. Croma, here's the problem, sir. We've been dealing with this case since 2022. In all of that time, you could have made some money. You could have worked side jobs and made the amount of money necessary to pay what we asked you to pay. You could have actually been doing your community service since I changed it to 140 hours of community service, and you could have been done. I don't understand why folk won't just, you know, my husband has this saying, and he says it all the time, drives me nuts, but he was like, I got to get it done. I got to get it done. Y'all don't want to get anything done. It's like you're okay with the threat of jail hanging over your head. But if jail was hanging over my head, the first thing I would do is my 145 hours of community service. And I told you, I don't care where you do it. I didn't ask you to come back to Clayton County to do it. I've never done that. I've always said to people, do the community service where it's close to you or convenient to you, where you're going to get it done. My priority is that you get it done, not that you do it in Clayton County.
Yeah, but my PO, he wasn't allowing me to do it anywhere at first.
Your PO will take whatever I say he will take. And I'm not downing Mr. Carmichael because he's amazing. But what I'm saying to you is you're making excuses. If you brought in hours here from the nonprofit down the street from your house, if you lived in Timbuktu and they could certify that it was a certified nonprofit, I would take the hours. So what I'm saying to you is don't make excuses, Mr. Croma. You're making excuses. How old are you?
37.
Mr. Croma, first of all, let's talk about the fact that you had 2 back-to-back driving on a suspended or revoked license, which means that you either didn't show up for court or you're not paying child support. Those are the 2 main reasons that they will take your license. So which one is it?
It was child support.
Okay. So that right there tells me you ain't doing what you're supposed to do, because you got kids out there that you're not supporting. And then I can see why you're not supporting them. You're not even doing probation. When I didn't say give me money, I said give me time. You're not doing anything you're supposed to do, Mr. Chroma. You're 37 years old and you're acting like a teenager. They're supposed to be irresponsible. You, sir, are not. Get it together. You brought kids into this world and you just slacking. Just slacking. If this is what you are teaching them, they're going to end up in an orange jumpsuit. This ain't a murder charge. This is driving on a suspended or revoked license. We're asking for money or time. You can't give me either. Neither one. You are being trifling, as the old people would say. Not doing what you need to do, lazy, and not working like you should be working. Sir, if you are a parent in this world, your children deserve better than to have somebody who can't even get probation done. Because I know if you're not doing probation because you got the probation because you failed to pay your child support. So I know if you can't get some community service hours done in probation, I know you're not doing nothing for them. Get it together. Man up. I know folk with 2 and 3 and 4 jobs out here just working. I know people who started with a lawnmower doing people's lawns, and now they got a 0-turn motor and a truck because they have worked themselves into that. But you sitting here giving me excuses. Well, see, what had happened was, well, I couldn't do it, and my PO wouldn't want me to do it outside of Clayton County because did it all crazy, just crazy. Get it together. You are 37 years old. Before you know it, you'll be 55. And you know what? You won't have nothing. You won't even have kids who want to spend time with you because you ain't doing nothing for them. So get it together, sir. What's the recommendation, Mr. Carmichael?
Probation recommends serve 30 days, credit for time served, closed case.
All right, Mr. Lynch?
Judge, from speaking to my client, he does currently have employment. He works for the Amazon. He works with the Amazon Distribution Center. Google Distribution Center. And Judge, we would ask that you sentence him to 20 days, credit for time served, close the case. I think that would be, in terms of driving on a suspended license case, I think 10 days per case would be a reasonable.
Yeah, it would be, except this is his second revocation, Mr. Lynch, his second one, which means that I've already given him another chance and he blew it. And Mr. Lynch, let you in on a little secret. He ain't helping his kids, so why should I care what he's doing? If he was applying and helping his kids, maybe that would help me. But he ain't helping them.
Can I say something about that, Your Honor?
Yes, please, sir.
Because, like you saying, what I ain't doing with my kids, I got put on child support like 6 years later from a child that I didn't even know that was mine, that I never even took a test for. I got put on child support because I didn't go to court to take the test during COVID because I didn't have no ID. But they just still put me on child support. Said by me not going to court, it was like I waived my rights. So now
you did.
Yeah, but I didn't know that. So then it had all that back child support. That's what ended up suspending my license.
Mr. Chroma, you didn't go to court. You just should have put a mask on and gone to court. Why would you ignore court because you didn't have a ID? You could have shown up and told them who you were.
At that time, that was my first time dealing with it, but they just automatically put me on child support for a child.
So you just thought if you didn't go, they weren't going to do anything.
I got to go to court on the 10th of this month to get them to do a DNA test for the child. But I still been on child support all the years for a child. I don't even know if he's mine or not.
Mr. Chroma, you could have asked for a DNA test years ago.
Yep, and every time I asked the woman for a DNA test, because the court said I had to go through the woman now, since I didn't make it to the court. Every time I asked the woman for a DNA test, she disappeared. So now I finally been able to get it where the court is gonna do it for me. I had to go through a program with the court. So now on the 10th, I gotta go and do it.
Which court, which court? City of Atlanta?
Yeah, City of Atlanta. I gotta go do a legitimize, and they said through that, they're gonna do the DNA test.
All right, Mr. Chroma, I'll give you 20 days credit for time served. Balance will be suspended and case closed. But sir, let me tell you something. Whether you are this child's father or not, certain things you don't do. You don't ignore court notices. They're not going to just drop it because you don't show up. That just means you don't care enough to show up, and they're going to do what they want to do. We clear? If this is your child, then at some point you agreed to lay down with the person and make a baby. So be a dad. Try and be a force of good in this child's life.
Yes,
And
ma'am.
third, okay, start getting yourself together. Because even though you got a job at the Amazon distribution center, that wasn't helping you in this situation because you wasn't doing anything to pay your way out of what was essentially fines and fees. You have worked a case that was, okay, pay your fines and fees, and I'm just giving you extra time to do it, into 2 appearances before the court, 2 times you've been arrested for probation violation, and even now 30 days because you haven't done anything. Every time you turn around, you got an excuse for something. Well, I didn't go to court and they put the child support on me. No, I didn't go to court. And so the court did what they do, which was to grant a default because I didn't go to contest it and say this child might not be mine. Stop letting stuff happen to you. All right, you can go back to the sheriff's office.
Hey everybody, welcome to American Courts. Today we got a bunch of different courts. We got Miss Fields, we got people in court. I'm stealing some of their videos and showing them. We also got Judge Middleton with a interesting and odd one this morning that my buddy Steve Bennett sent to me. And then we got some Judge Boyd. Welcome everybody. Thanks for coming out to the show. Everybody go in the comments and tell Allie we need to do another court addict. There's some stuff me and her need to talk about, and it'd be cool to see it on there. So we're going to jump into Judge Middleton, and we'll see how that goes.
Well, I shut things off, but we didn't get very far. As soon as I shut everything off, the White Pigeon village attorney came in to help us with our next case. Good morning, Mr. Brooks.
Good morning, sir. Your Honor.
There are 4 cases set this morning in the matters of People versus Johann Trevor Brooks. That's you?
Yes, sir, Your Honor.
Of course, I know who you are, but I have to identify you for the record. 3 of these are under White Pigeon Village Ordinance, and 1 of them is under Sturgis Ordinance.
Hey, I'm gonna have to jump in here real quick on this one. If
Let's go through them one.
if you're a kid watching at the channel, go ahead and change it to another channel. If you're a grown up and you're overly sensitive and you're a little baby, switch it to a different channel. This one's it's an interesting one. It's an odd excuse I hadn't heard before, but it's an adult themed, so just be careful. And Nancy, cover your ears.
By 1, 24179. You got a ticket, or actually a formal complaint, alleging disorderly person in the village of White Pigeon on 11/8. The next one, 242180, is also a formal complaint from the village of White Pigeon, also on November 8th for being a disorderly person. The next one, 24181, is also a formal complaint from White Pigeon. These are all November 8th. The Sturgis case
I like Judge Middleton. He's just getting a little bit slower over time. So this has been a long couple of years for him.
Here it is. 25331. That's a ticket that alleged on February 21st that you were a disorderly person in Sturgis. Your blood alcohol was 0.273. That was on February 21st, and I believe you've been in custody since that date. Mr. George, for the city of Sturgis, his proposal was if you pled to the city of Sturgis case in one of the White Pigeon cases, that would be sufficient for his purpose. We have the White Pigeon Assistant Village Attorney here. Good morning.
Good morning.
What's the village's position on this?
I would agree with that, with just a recommendation of credit for time served. I don't think Mr. Brooks needs any more out of these.
All right. Could you place your appearance on the record?
Yes, Your Honor. Michael Beal on behalf of the Village of White Pigeon.
All right. Mr. Brooks, you've been in jail now for 11 days. The offer is you plead to one of the White Pigeon disorderlies and the Sturgis disorderly from February 21st. The other two cases from White Pigeon would be dismissed. And at least on behalf of the Village of White Pigeon, they're recommending time served. Do you understand the plea offer?
Yes, Your Honor.
Are you willing to accept that?
Yes, Your Honor.
Anybody threaten you to get you to do that?
No,
Promise you anything?
no.
Do you understand if you do plead to this charge, you'll be giving up your right to have a trial in front of a judge or jury?
Yes, Your Honor.
If you had a trial, you'd have the right to be represented by an attorney. Mr. Stickley is here today as the chief public defender in an advisory capacity, but if we had a hearing, I'd get an attorney appointed just for you. If you had a trial, you'd have a right to have any of the witnesses for or against you subpoenaed to come to court so they could be questioned under oath. You'd have the right to take the witness stand yourself and testify on your own behalf, but you don't have to because you have a right not to testify. And if you did not wish to testify, the judge or jury could not hold your silence against you. And you have the right to be presumed innocent. You understand?
Yes, Your Honor.
That is, unless they were able to prove your guilt beyond a reasonable doubt. All right, let's start with the one that got you arrested. 0.273 at 4 o'clock in the morning on Lafayette and Lakeview in Sturgis. You've been homeless for a while. How did you come to the attention of the police at 4 o'clock in the morning on February 21st?
Your Honor, I'm having a lot of health problems. I got COVID and it messed up my pancreas and my bladders. My bladder walls are thickening. And for some reason I'm waking up. I'm sorry, man, but with an erection, they're saying that the blood is getting trapped and it's not getting released. And it's the worst pain I've ever felt in my life. And I started drinking heavy instead of going to the emergency room, which I should have done. And I was walking, trying to walk it out. Like that's how I've been getting to go with the blood to release is by walking. And I just got a little too irate with it, with the bitching to myself. Sorry, my language.
All right, well, where were you staying at that time?
At my friend's house.
Which was where?
Tim Boot is over on
Tim Boot, all right, in
Yes, sir.
Sturgis. All right, well, what about the White Pigeon ones back in November? What was that about?
There's the same thing.
You had an erection from November to February?
No, but it's like sometimes it happens and sometimes it don't. Like sometimes I take a nap for an hour and I wake up like that. And they said to call the medical office and stuff, but it was already closed on that night. And I just offended them wrong. I just lost control.
Well, I had someone in here I knew as a very little kid, and I always see these people that make me feel old, and you're in that category. You know, your aunt and my sister were best friends. I remember when you were a little bitty kid and you struggled a lot.
Yes, I had to.
If I let you out of jail, where are you going to go?
I might check the homeless center this time. If not, I'm gonna try to go to my aunt's if I can't get into the shelter.
To Tony's?
Yeah. No,
Where's-
no, my aunt, RJ's.
Oh, RJ's, okay. Your mother's brother.
Yes, yes, sir. But I mean, they checked my prostate and they said that it came back fine, but she said my blood was really low and some other things had been going on. I had just got the CT done and got the information back on that.
You got another one. You got some unpaid fines and costs. $655. A lot of them are booking fees, but you have an unpaid disorderly from 2023. I'm gonna try to take care of that one too. We've certainly got time to deal with it. All right. The ordinance case, I'm gonna dismiss the other two ordinance cases, which are 242180 and 242181. You got arrested on the 21st of February. That's 7 days in February and 4 days in March, so that's 11 days. But being a 273 at 4 o'clock in the morning in the middle of the winter, ranting to yourself in the street, you got froze to death out there. February 21st, it was real cold. That was when it was about 3 degrees out.
Your Honor, it's the worst pain I've ever felt in my life. I thought a toothache was bad. It has nothing to do with that. I mean, that is the worst pain I've ever felt in my entire life.
All right, well, that's not the kind of pain anybody would want. All right, 11 days, credit 11 days, leaving 0 days to serve, concurrent with 25331 $125 or 2 additional days in jail before you get out. I'm not gonna chase you around for it because you got a bunch of other unpaid stuff. All right, that takes care of the white pigeon cases. The Sturgis case. I apologize, it's really warm in here. It was cold last week, so I asked Cole, I said, it's freezing in there. So be careful what you ask for, because you might get it. Now it's about 80 degrees in here, but makes it easier to sleep. So it's quite warm in here. Oops. Both of these are misdemeanors punishable by up to 90 days in jail and a fine of up to $500. In the disorderly from Sturgis, I'm going to order 11 days, credit 11 days. Again, the minimum allowable fine of $125 or 2 additional days in jail. Concurrent with the ordinance case. And I'm gonna wipe out the other case where you owe me $325 from 2023.
Thank you, Your Honor.
That is failed to pay costs. And a disorderly. $11 credit, 11 days. Concurrent with the other two cases and wipe out the fine. So that'll be one less thing you have to worry about when you get out. Somebody will bring you $125 and get out today. Otherwise, you're gonna have to do 2 more days in jail. Then I'm a little leery about where you go. You just be standing on the front steps of the jail without a placement. But I'm not gonna leave you in jail indefinitely. The village, neither one asked for any additional jail time. Let me see if there's anything else holding on to you. You did owe money to circuit court. Is that all taken care of?
I haven't heard anything. I thought I would have had a show cause, but they said no when I got there.
Well, you did. It's way back in 2005. That's probably been taken care of. So as far as I know, Mr. Brooks, you're gonna get out of jail in 2 days. Hopefully you can get something set up between now and then. If you get out of jail and you can't get anywhere, you need a bus pass, come up here to the courthouse and I'll give you a bus pass to get home.
Okay, thank you.
All right, you're good to go.
Thanks, Sheriff. Thank you, Your Honor.
I told you guys that would be an odd one. Judge Middleton never let it phase him, but after listening to that one, I was like, yeah, we're going to have to show that one. I'm going to show one from Ms. Fields. We're going to jump over there. Link to her channel's in the description. Make sure to go check her out and be nice to her. She's got a good channel, does some good stuff, and heck, if we're stealing her videos and watching it, at least we can do a supporter. So here's Ms. Fields.
24G 721-855.
Good morning, Judge. Attorney John Camilleri on behalf of Cheryl Ann Pollock, who's present in the courtroom.
Ma'am, your name?
Cheryl Pollock.
So I just want to make sure defendant pled to leaving the scene of a PI accident in super drunk, right?
Correct.
So you got your work cut out for on this one, Mr. Camilleri. I don't like this. She's drunk, she hits somebody, breaks their tibia, breaks her fibula, and then takes off. So you got your work cut out. But I'm just forewarning you right now. Have you had a chance to review the screening and assessment report?
We have, Judge.
Are there any material additions, corrections, or deletions?
No modifications to it, Judge.
Anything you would like to say?
Yes, Your Honor. Judge, my client has done a good job, I think, correcting some cognitive issues that she has in dealing with grief. Grief is a situation where some people become overwhelmed and they revert to alcohol to numb the brain. The issue I'm talking about is my client was on the phone with her daughter. They heard a gunshot go off in the background.
This is on the date of the offense?
No, just before, a week and a half before.
Okay.
So she's on the phone with her daughter, bang, a gunshot goes off. It's her son-in-law. He passes away from the gunshot. She's been dealing with this situation with her daughter. I believe she has PTSD from it. She was intimately involved in that incident. You hear a gunshot go off and it's your son-in-law on the other side of the wall on the telephone. I believe, unfortunately.
Did they charge somebody in connection with that?
Pardon me?
Did they charge somebody?
No. As far as not as of today, but I'm not intimately aware of exactly what happened there, but that's what happened. Ms. Pollock heard that gunshot go off. It was her son-in-law's death, and she reverted to alcohol. Big mistake. Big, big, big mistake. Alcohol numbs the mind for a short period of time, and then the grief comes back. Then you realize, your hangover is worth nothing. And the risks you take in drinking are worth nothing. They don't cure the problem. Ms. Pollack, after this event, after the first pretrial, went to see Dr. Bejan. He's a PhD. He's right here local. She's met him 15 times, one-on-one, weekly, out of her own pocket. She doesn't have insurance cover for that. In the meantime, she's got her 90-year-old mother living with her. And that's a handful. These are not excuses. I know you want to know these things. It's just what this lovely lady is dealing with. Judge, she's been on the sober link. She's been testing 5 times a day. Perfect. Not a problem. She's been going to AA as ordered by you 3 times a week. Not a problem.
That was January 9th.
That's right.
So she's gone at least 24 times.
21, she just tells me.
Okay.
3 times a week.
3 times.
That's
a week.
about right. Judge Hessen ordered it January 9th.
Okay, so she's been doing great. She regrets this whole thing. I mean, the person that was involved, these 2 people involved are just right down the street from where she lives. They know each other. But again, Judge.
The victim?
Yeah, she was here at the pretrial. They said hello, they talked. Judge, I'm not a man of excuses.
Judge Hessen ordered her not to have any contact with
Well,
prosecution.
the lovely lady was in the
Not
courtroom. They
before.
walked out, they said hello, and that was it. It's not like they had tea together for sure. But Your Honor, I'm not a person to give excuses. I've been before you many, many times. However, I got to explain to you what was going on with, I believe, PTSD, the grief reaction, etc. And I believe there's some mitigating circumstances here. I don't see many people who walk in your courtroom and say, I was on the phone with my daughter and then a gunshot goes off while we're on the phone and it's my son-in-law. I've never heard that in your courtroom. So I thought that is important for you to hear. I believe that's what she was dealing with. I believe that was the grief. She's going to counseling one-on-one. I've read the recommendation. We're asking the court to let her continue seeing Dr. Bejan in lieu of the outpatient treatment. I think this is about grief reaction more than it is
She's still scoring category 4 on both the alcohol and drug use. So she's got a problem.
I understand that. And I think the problem is, again, dealing with your problems with alcohol. And I think she was trying to suppress that grief she had. But other than that, Your Honor, hang on. She's been on the sober link. She's done great. She showed, let's say, she showed that she can manage her grief by going to counseling and not reverting to alcohol. And I think that's what this case is about. Managing your emotions, the grief, the PTSD in a more appropriate manner, adult manner versus reverting to alcohol. And I believe that sums it up. And, but she's done great. Hang on, excuse me. And that's what this case is, Judge. She's not working because she's taking care of her mother. She's retired. And we're asking the court to adopt the recommendation. We do believe it's fair.
It's overly fair.
It is fair.
It's more than fair. It's not harsh enough, if you ask me.
It's very fair, but I do believe the fairness is in light of the situation. I don't think the probation department's ever heard a case where someone's on the phone and hears a gun go off.
But that was not on the date of the offense.
No, but
and I'm not poo-hooing that. I'm not saying there's nothing wrong. I'm not saying there wasn't issues that she was dealing with, but on this case, she went out, she got completely intoxicated. She drove into somebody, she broke their leg and then left the scene. And she had a 2-1. That's my issue with it. These are the reasons we have the drunk driving laws, so people don't get hurt. And she
Understand?
not only caused somebody to get hurt, she then had the wherewithal to leave the scene of the accident. So I can't ask her these things. It's a no contest plea, but please, this is not right. So that's the way I feel about it. Anything else?
Nothing further.
Ms. Pollock, is there anything you would like to say? These were no contest pleas. I'm prohibited from asking you questions with respect to it, but I'll listen to anything that you have to say.
Thank you, Your Honor. I've reflected a lot about all of this and truly, truly sorry. And it will never happen again.
You don't need to apologize to me. You didn't break my legs. But my issue here is exactly what I said. You went out, you hurt somebody, and then you left. Then you left. Drunk or not drunk, dealing with remorse or not. And I am not underestimating what you did here, young ma'am. I'm not. I'm not underestimating the fact that you were dealing with a lot. There's no question about it. There's also no question about it that we have a responsibility. We have a responsibility. John, come here, please. I try to be understanding, but there are certain aspects here that I'm really troubled by in this case. And we can rationalize our conduct all day long. Your lawyer, that's why I told him he has a hard one here. We can rationalize whatever we want. But you just cannot do this. In monthly testing, there's no way I'm going along with that. So I'm going to attribute all the fees that are common in nature to the super drunk charge, okay? 24 months probation. You cannot leave the state without the consent of the court. All right, 24 months probation. You cannot leave the state without the consent of the court or violate any law. You change your address, your place of employment, or home telephone number, you must notify probation. You have to report as directed. No alcohol, no marijuana, no illegal drugs. I don't write laws. The voters voted for medical marijuana. You have a medical marijuana certificate. I'm not saying you can use marijuana. It's still illegal under state law. But I will tell you that I will not violate you if you test positive for THC. Otherwise, no alcohol, no illegal drugs, and again, no marijuana unless you provide proof that you have a valid medical marijuana certificate. Kratom, poppy seeds, and CBD oils are prohibited. Consuming food or other items containing those substances will be deemed a violation. You're to submit to chemical testing, PBTs, and ETGs. That will be as follows. Weekly for 3 months. If you're clean, bi-weekly for 4 months. If you're clean, I'll make it monthly. You're to attend AA, at least 3 times a week until you're in intensive outpatient treatment. Once you get in intensive outpatient treatment, you no longer have to attend AA or NA. You're also to attend the Victims Impact Panel. Restitution, if any, will be handled through civil litigation. The victim did not show, so I'm not going to award any restitution. Maybe there's a civil case pending. I don't know. And you're to be on a SoberLink device until May the 15th of 25. Now, these probation fees I'm going to attribute to the super drunk case. So let's talk about the fines there. It's $300 in fines, $200 in costs, $75 victim's rights fee, $50 justice assessment, $6 1/4. Probation fees are $480 for a total of $1,105. You have cost of recovery on that of $225, bringing their total on that case to $1,330. On the other file, I'm going to go light. In terms of the fines and costs, you have to take your hat off, sir. $100 fines, $150 costs, $75 victim's rights fee, $50 justice assessment, $375. The mandatory maximum on the super drunk is 180 days. The mandatory maximum on the other case on the leaving the scene of a personal injury accident is 365 days. I'm going to order 7 days jail. Credit 1, you're going to serve 6. And I want you to understand, not only did you hurt somebody, you drove away, and that's my issue with it. I want you to understand that. You hurt somebody, you broke their leg, and you drove away from it. That's it.
Your Honor, there was no indication that there was a broken leg.
I'm not gonna change my mind. You can shake your head all you want. We go out and drink and drive and we start hurting people and then we drive away on top of it. There's a penalty to be paid. You don't like it, I don't care. I'm gonna let her serve 2 weekends in jail. That's gonna be, I've had him check with Flat Rock. 2 weekends, and I'll let her serve it this way. You're gonna serve, did they specify the days? It's gonna be right, I'm gonna make.
They said back to back weekend.
March 7th to the 9th. That will be, and March the 14th.
Your Honor, in lieu of
to
this
the
jail
six-
time, since
No.
she's taking care of her 90-year-old
I don't
mother.
care. She broke somebody's leg. I'm not gonna argue with you. And then drove away. 7 a.m. March 7th to 10 p.m. March the 9th. And then March the 14th to the 16th. And that will be 7 a.m. to 10 p.m. You have 21 days to appeal, 14 days to apply for a court-appointed lawyer. The total amount owed here is
Judge?
$1,695.
I got a different total. I got $13.90. Did you charge the screening fee?
Let me double check.
Judge, in terms of the sober link.
Hang on a second. 6 1/4, 685, 1,085, 1165, 1365. You're right. That's 1390. The sober link, she's going to be on until May 15th. She's going to deal with probation on that.
So she won't be on the sober link while she's doing these days?
Well, I don't know what they're going to have her do.
It won't be, she'll be.
She's going to deal with probation. It might cost more to have it taken off and then re-put on, re-fixed, reutilized. All right? That's
Judge,
it.
can we suggest that she not go on the sober link until she's done with this? It's just gonna be
Money.
on and off, on and off.
Mr. Camilleri. No, I've heard enough.
All right, I'm gonna turn off mute first, and then I'm gonna go ahead and get out of there before that music starts. I don't need a copyright thing on there. That was an interesting one. Allie picked up a few things on there. Bring it to your show, Allie. We're waiting to see your show. We cannot wait to see your show. Let's jump to a Judge Boyd one. So Judge Boyd.
All right, court is calling 2024 CR 01093. State versus Samantha Gadarama. Counsel, in the box. Y'all need to move it down to the other end. All right, court is calling 2024 CR 01093, State versus Samantha Gadarama. Can I have parties announced for the record for the state?
Yeah.
Defense?
Kayla Dietrich for Samantha Guadarrama.
And are you Samantha Guadarrama?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. Have both parties had a chance to review the PSI report and TAP evaluation?
Yes.
Any objections?
No, Your Honor.
All right, you entered a plea bargain agreement on January 6th. According to the plea, punishment is be assessed at $2,000 fine. State recommends deferred adjudication. There's to be restitution of $6,292.70 to Mitchell McCain. It's the court's understanding that that amount has been paid. Is that correct?
That's correct.
All right. Is there anything you wish to say on behalf of your client?
No, Your Honor.
Anything you wish to say?
No, ma'am.
All right, you want to raise your right hand for me? Do you solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you give will be the truth and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes, ma'am.
You can lower your hand. State your name for the record.
Samantha Guadarrama.
All right, so why are you keying this guy's car?
It was a mistake and it was.
No, it wasn't a mistake. A mistake is you take somebody's umbrella thinking that it's yours because they're both black umbrellas. Keying somebody's car is not a mistake. So why are you keying the car?
I was being taunted by my ex about our situation, that we were separating, and he was sending me videos and pictures of just other women and in our own, like in our home that we lived together during that time and during that night.
That's not what the police report says. The police report I'm reading says that the victim in O1 returned from a night out and the victim parked his vehicle in the driveway of O1's residence. While at O1's residence, O1 received an alert on his video camera. O1 looked at his video camera and observed his ex-girlfriend in the driveway of his residence. O1 was speaking with D1 through the camera, your D1, and D1 believed that another female was at the location as D1 believed the victim's vehicle, which was parked in the driveway, belonged to a female. Victim in O1 continued watching the video camera and observed D1 walking around victim's vehicle, keying victim's vehicle in the process. This is what I don't understand. So it says in here that you thought that was a female's vehicle.
Yes,
I don't
ma'am.
understand why women think that other women owe them any type of loyalty. Why is the go-to for women when they think somebody's cheating on them? Well, let me attack the female. You shouldn't be attacking anybody, honestly. But I don't know why there's this thing, let's destroy the female's vehicle. Maybe he don't want you anymore, or maybe he wants you and the other female. If that's the case, you have choices to make. Either you're going to stay with him and accept the fact that he's cheating on you, or either you're going to leave him. The choice should never be, let me key his car or key the female's car. It's never going to turn out good. Now, I see that you have a son and a daughter. How would you feel if your son ends up dating someone and they become an ex-girlfriend and they won't let go and they end up keying his car? You lose your mind. So here you are out keying somebody's car who doesn't want you, obviously. No, I mean, that's yes or no. Do you understand that?
Yes, I did.
And so you went to jail?
I did.
And how long were you in jail?
That night,
All right, well, how long did you stay in jail till you paid this off, though?
that day on January, when I was here for like 3 days, I believe.
All right, so that's 3 days you spent away from your children because you love a man more than your children. Whenever you make these stupid decisions, what ends up happening is that shows that you're loving this man more than your children. You can't do that. Have you had any contact with him?
No, I love him.
All right, so do you have any children with him?
No, I do not.
All right, so you better not contact him. You understand?
Yes, ma'am.
That relationship is over. You don't have any property with him. You don't have any children with him, so there's no need to contact him. You understand?
Yes, ma'am.
So what do you do for a living?
Part-time.
All right. And have you started dating again?
No, I have not.
Okay, that's a good thing. You're gonna have to get an orchid. And I tell everybody this who have relationships problems, because orchids teach patience. They have some beautiful orchids out at the HEB. I just saw some when I went there. I'm like, wow, they're so beautiful. They're in bloom. You need to get that orchid. They're inexpensive. I think they have a coupon too, so it's less expensive. Get that orchid and keep that orchid. And it comes with directions. Read up on it, how to care for it. And once those leaves fall off, if you can get that same orchid to bloom again without losing your patience, then you'll be ready for relationships. Because with orchids, you can read those instructions. Like it says, indirect sunlight, you put it in indirect sunlight. Next thing you know, the leaves are burning. Somebody's like 3 ice cubes. Then you learn, nope, it doesn't take 3 ice cubes. So I don't tell people to get orchids to be flippant. It's just that orchids require patience and care. And that's the same thing with relationships. And if somebody is cheating on you, you have 2 choices to make. One, you either accept it and confront them and say, hey, you're cheating on me. And then their choice is to continue to cheat or either say, all right, I'm sorry, I'm not going to do it again. But those are your choices. Your choice is not to go and key some car because then you end up here. You understand? All right, this is what the court is going to do. There's a $2,000 fine that will be probated. Regular reporting by Zoom or in person, regular random UAs. There should be 3 years deferred adjudication, 200 hours of community service restitution. I'm going to require parenting classes. Once that's completed, 100 hours will be deemed satisfied. How far did you go in school?
I graduated.
All right, what do you want, what did you plan to do with the rest of your life? Do you like bartending? Do you
No.
plan on, what do you want to do?
Yeah, I'm a real estate license as well. I just haven't used it.
Okay. And then there's 100, I'm gonna require anger management. And once that's completed, the remaining 100 hours will be deemed satisfied. There's gonna be field visits 1 time per month for 6 months. And the court will show that the restitution amount of $6,292.70 has been paid in full. We can go off the record. So I put you down for 3 years deferred adjudication. If you complete everything early, I'll consider early termination. Whether you're on for the full 3 years or not is completely up to you and your actions. Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, make better choices. You got children to consider, okay? All right, good luck to you.
Thank you, Your Honor.
You're welcome. Court is calling 2025 CR 0000487 State versus Alyssa Gonzalez. Can I have parties announced for the record for the state? Defense?
Renee Munoz on behalf of Ms. Gonzalez.
And are you Ms. Gonzalez? All right, did you understand in count 2, you're charged with unauthorized use of a motor vehicle as a state jail felony? Range of punishment is anywhere from 180 days up to 2 years in the state jail facility and up to a $10,000 fine. Did you understand? Are you proceeding with sentencing?
Yes, Your Honor.
Anything you wish to say on behalf of your client?
Yes, Judge. In reference to Ms. Gonzalez, I had the chance to speak with her regarding the offenses that she had picked up. And I know that the court maybe has some concerns as to the questionable thinking. My client has notified me at the jail that she has been getting MRT, moral recognition therapy treatments, in terms of addressing some of the questionable decisions she has made that led her to being here in front of the court today, Judge. In light of that, she is willing to undergo at the state jail classes, as well as vocation, as well as substance use, to address some of those issues and hopefully continue with the MRT there at state jail. We're asking Judge, in light of that, her eagerness to do that, if she can be presumptively entitled to diligent participation credit, also known as the 80-20 rule, in light of the fact that she wants to make those changes and continue to address those changes in thinking.
All right, how old are you?
32.
All right, why don't you know right from wrong? I mean, it would seem that people would know, hey, you're not supposed to steal a car. Why do you need a class to tell you don't steal? I'm sorry, what?
That I was hanging out with.
The crowd that you were hanging out with? Let me just tell you, if they were here, they would say, it's the crowd I'm hanging out with. You're in your 30s. You're not a teenager. So again, that doesn't answer my question. So why do you need a class for somebody to tell you that stealing is wrong? And here you are driving around in a vehicle where the ignition is broken and the steering column is damaged, and you're just riding around in it. And if the police would not have caught you, you'd still be riding around in it. Do you have children? I'm sorry? A son? How old is he?
2 sons.
2 sons. How old are they?
13, 11.
All right, and you don't take care of either of them. Somebody else does.
My husband, both of them.
All right, so you don't take care of any of them. Are you paying child support? If they had to depend on you to survive, they would not survive because you're not paying child support. You're just out here stealing vehicles. All right, court is going to find you guilty. The court is going to sentence you to 1 year in the state jail facility, give you credit for any time served. There's a $2,000 fine. Taking consideration 2025 CR 0000472, there's to be restitution of $800 to Orlando Perez, and I'll order the therapeutic community. All right, did you review the document entitled Trial Court Certification of Defendant's Rights to Appeal with your attorney? Did you understand it and sign it? All All right, because this is a plea bargain agreement, because I followed your plea bargain agreement, and because you waived your right to appeal, you do not have the court's permission to appeal. Because this is a felony conviction, you're not allowed to own or possess any weapons or ammunition. If you have a question over what a weapon or ammunition is, you'll need to speak to an attorney. Do you understand? All right, we can go off the record. You need to do better, because right now somebody else is raising your children and you don't have a part in their life whatsoever. And I don't understand why you would need MRT to tell you, I pick up a crime, somebody else is taking care of my children. You understand? All right, good luck to you.
Thank you, Your Honor.
All right, I was trying to get the camera to pick up that super long text that Allie wrote. That is a really damn long text, Allie. I don't know that I will ever make it through that text. You might have to send me cliff notes on it. All right, let's go to people in court. She did a, I think it was out of Texas. So yeah, she did a neat one out of Texas. So people in court, again, link to her channels in the description. Nice people, good people. They put out videos. Go watch them, support them, help them make money. Here we go.
I just told the lady I was driving. I'm picking up my niece from school.
Did you pull over like you were able to?
If I pull over, I got to pick up my niece from school. I just told the lady this. I can't.
Mr. Williams, and I said we're in court, so you have to make sure you're free, right? So
I understand, but my phone is on 1%. I understand what you're saying.
Okay, sir, why don't you call back?
What I'm saying?
Sir, this is the judge. I just want to let you know I can't have okay, can you please listen? I cannot have a hearing. I cannot have a hearing with you driving. So why don't you finish what you're doing, get the charger, and call back in, sir? Otherwise, your case is being dismissed today.
Judge, we would want to move forward on a default today.
Well, no, he's here, so I want to give him a chance to be back.
Yes, ma'am. I'm coming back.
When can you be back, sir?
I just need to. Can I have like 30 minutes? I just need to get my niece from school and get a charger. That's it.
So by noon, you'll be back in.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
And Judge, if he's not back by noon, I request to move forward with the default.
Okay, we will see about that, sir. Please.
So in case nobody can tell, this is a people in court video. Don't notice the people in court in the middle, at the bottom, or at the bottom left-hand side. Don't pay no attention to that. This is people in court. Go check out her stuff.
Back in because I'm not comfortable defaulting you, and otherwise your case is being dismissed. Okay.
I have papers.
I know. It's okay.
I have papers left. He's trying to do this.
Miss Hilton, don't worry. I'll let her know.
I just want to say this. He's picking up his niece. He has a daughter.
Ma'am, I can't be hearing this right. There's Mr. Williams. Are you there?
Yeah, I'm here.
Okay. Are you able to have your camera so that we can see you? Thank you. And you have a charger now, sir?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. And somebody seemed to have like a TV on in the background. Okay. It seems quieter now. Just please make sure you're in a quiet spot so that everyone can be sure to hear the testimony that's going to be presented. And we're ready to start recording. We are live on the record in cause number 21 FD 1320, and this is a suit for modification of support order and motion to confirm support arrearage. This was filed by the Attorney General's office on February 13th of 2024, so it's been on file over a year. All parties are present on Zoom today. This is a remote proceeding, and I am sitting outside of Galveston County pursuant to the Texas Family Code, section 201.1045, and I find nobody has filed any objections to proceeding in this manner. Mr. Williams, can you please state your full name for the record?
Charles Williams.
Okay, and Ms. Hilton, can you please state your full name for the record?
Devin Monique Hilton.
Can you both please raise your right hands to be sworn in? Do you each solemnly swear that any testimony you give today will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yeah.
Okay, you can lower your hands. And sir, please be sure you say yes or no, the full words. We are recording and it picks up differently. Counsel,
Yes, ma'am.
Attorney General's office, can you please state your name for the record?
Adriana Rodriguez, present.
This is a contested hearing. Please note you are in court, and so please treat it that way. That includes speaking in civil tones, treating one another with respect, not driving. Also, please be sure to stay on camera. If you go off camera, we can't tell if you're frozen and unable to hear, or if you're hearing and just not on camera. So it's real important you stay involved in the hearing, and we know you're here and able to hear. And then lastly, please know I'm not with the Attorney General's office. So anything you've spoken to them about or given to them, I don't know about, and I'm not supposed to know about. There's ethical rules about that. So don't think when she asks you a question, Ms. Rodriguez might ask you something that you just discussed. Don't think she told me, because she can't and she won't. So my only time to hear the answers is now during the hearing. And you may proceed, Ms. Rodriguez. What are the agreements?
Thank you, Judge. The parties have agreed that neither will have a non-disclosure. And they also have agreed that Mr. Williams is in child support arrears and medical support arrears in the amount of $1,962.23 as of February 28th.
For $1,962.23. Okay.
And as of February 28th, 2025, and he will pay that judgment by paying $20 a month. There is no child support arrears. There is no dental support arrears. And the parties have also agreed that Ms. Hilton will apply for a government plan, and Mr. Williams will pay $50 in cash medical support beginning April 1st, 2025. And the AG and Ms. Hilton agreed that child support should be set at $357. Based on Mr. Williams's gross amount of $2,080. And that is the only pending issue that we need a ruling on, Judge.
You can put on testimony.
Thank you. Mr. Williams, will you please say your name one more time?
Charles Williams.
And you're working at Burger King, is that correct?
Yeah. I don't know where you got that number from. I ain't tell you that number, 2000.
Well, you make $14 an hour?
Nah, I ain't tell you that at all. I told you exactly $1,600 a month.
Before or after taxes, do you make $1,600 a month?
After taxes. Before it was 19.
So what do you make an hour?
12.
And so you make 12 an hour, and
Yeah.
you work 40 hours, correct?
Nah, we get like 36, if that.
36? Okay. And do you ever get overtime?
Nah, we just talked about all this.
Sir,
I'm not allowed to talk about what
Ms. Rodriguez, one moment. Sir, I just went through a very long list of things. I'm sorry to got boring.
Nah, I heard you.
One of the
Me and
things,
her
sir,
just talked.
please listen. One of the things I did say is I don't work with the AG's office, so you're going to be asked questions you already discussed. And these would be some of them. So you all probably did discuss this in the back. I wasn't there, and she's not allowed to tell me what you all discussed. So we have to go through this again because this is relevant
No problem.
to you. I'm deciding. So please just be patient and answer the questions.
No problem.
Thank you.
But I just want to know what she got her, because I ain't tell her neither one of them prices. So I'm trying to figure out like.
No, don't worry. We'll break it down. All right. So where do you work?
Yeah.
Oh, 1 second. We lost Miss Hilton. Miss Hilton, are you still with us?
I'm sorry, I lose connection over there. I'm gonna move over here. I'm sorry.
Sideways? Is there a way to?
I'm so sorry. It shouldn't lose connection anymore. I moved over here. I'm sorry, Judge Baker.
It's okay. Are you able to turn your camera in a way that we aren't looking at you sideways?
Oh yeah, like this?
Yes, perfect. Thank you.
Okay, I'm sorry. Yeah.
That's okay. You may proceed, Ms. Rodriguez.
Okay. Thank you, Mr. Williams. Can you say your hourly one more time?
Well.
And then you said how many hours do you work a week?
At the most, like 36.
Okay.
1 week 36, 1 week 24.
And how long have you been working at that location?
Not long. It's a temporary job.
Okay.
Like we just discussed, it's a temporary job.
Mr. Williams, I'm not trying to be rude. I do remember our discussion, but I have to ask everything one more time in front of the judge.
No, that's fine. That's fine.
All right. So when did you start working there?
I don't remember the exact date. It ain't been long though.
How many weeks?
It's probably gonna be like a 3-week project.
How many weeks have you been working there?
For like one.
And are you gonna have do you expect to stay there longer?
It's a 3-week program.
Okay.
It's like
So-
a project with a temp agency.
And so what happens after the 3 weeks in that job?
Then I ain't gonna have a job no more.
I have a question. You work at Burger King?
No, it's a Burger King warehouse that basically keeps their material.
Okay,
I'm just helping out around the warehouse.
okay. And again, let me stress, I know nothing about your case except what got filed. So when you say things like I work at Burger King, I envision you working at a Burger King.
I'm
So the more
sorry.
information you can give, sir, will help because I'm listening closely so I can make a ruling. But if I don't have good information, I just go with what I have. So
I understand.
So Mr. Williams, what are your monthly expenses?
My rent and food.
Okay, and how much is that a month?
I think it come out to like 1,600 as far as, you know what I'm saying? My rent 1,400. Lights, water, car note, food, things like that. So after all of that, I have like $200 left for the month. That's why I told you I can't pay $450.
So do you expect to have employment after your temporary job ends?
Nah.
So how are you gonna pay your bills after that?
I'm gonna have to borrow some money from somebody
How long do you usually do that for?
till I find another job.
And how long is that gap usually take?
I wish I knew. But I'm definitely looking. I'm definitely gonna be looking.
And Mr. Williams, what child support obligation, what should your child support obligation be?
Something affordable that I can pay.
And what is that? What do you,
if I got
what are you asking?
$200 left for the month, I guess you could just have the whole 200, and I just I just wait till I get paid again.
sir, please watch your language. This is court.
Oh, I'm sorry. I don't even know if I said. I'm sorry. It's different because it's on the phone and I ain't in court, so it's like I'm sorry though.
Okay, let me stress again, this is court, so please treat it like court.
I apologize. Did I cuss or something?
I think you did. So please just use appropriate language in the courtroom.
My bad.
Your Honor, that's all I have at this time.
Ms. Hilton, do you have any questions for Mr. Williams?
Yes, ma'am. I've stated to him, yes, ma'am. Can I ask him the question?
The questions are from you to him. So they're not asking Ms. Rodriguez. You're not asking me at this time. You're asking him. So please direct your questions to Mr. Williams and make them one question at a time and make sure there's something answerable, not a statement. Mm-hmm.
You know what, Judge Baker, I don't have any questions. We have already talked about things, and I've stated, and I have documentation as well. So I have no questions. I just want to talk to you, Judge Baker, and try to get a number so we can get a collateral number to support my child today. No, I have no questions.
Okay, Ms. Rodriguez, you can call your next witness.
Yes, Your Honor, I would like to call Ms. Hilton.
Yes.
Ms. Hilton, how much child support are you requesting at this time?
$357 at least, at the minimum, because I pay a balance of Kitty Academy daycare, and she goes back and forth. They pick her up from school, and that helps me out a lot. I'm a single mom, and I do work, and this has been taking over, just trying to support my daughter. So I'm asking for $357 at least, because her daycare comes to like $500 within a month, within 2 weeks. So that's what I was asking, at least $357, and I want to keep it at that number. I don't want to go any lower.
What other forms of income, if any, do you know that Mr. Williams has?
He's sold dogs on the side, like Frenchies. That's all I know of. I don't really talk to him about what he does, but he always states that he has a job, and when he has money a lot for him and his expenses. But my daughter has not gotten nothing in 7 years.
Ma'am, I'm going to stop you because I think you're no longer answering the question.
Okay.
Please listen carefully to what Ms. Rodriguez asked and just answer the question.
Okay.
And what support have you been receiving currently from Mr. Williams?
Zero.
When's the last time he gave you any support?
$50 for her birthday party last year, May 17th. She had a birthday party at a roller rink and he gave $50 and we had to ask for that. I paid the rest of the amount.
Judge, that's all I have.
Okay. The state doesn't represent either of you, so I'm going to give you both a chance if you think there's anything additional I need to hear. Mr. Williams, is there anything else you'd like to say?
I just want to, or you say, once I get this amount right here, whatever amount that I do give, I just want, it to be out there that I ain't giving nothing else. So this, whatever she gets, she need to use it wisely because I ain't giving her nothing else.
People, this is your time to try to tell me what you do and don't earn.
Huh?
Okay, right now you're kind of using your opportunity to threaten her, and that's really not what this is about.
By saying I'm not giving no more money, but child
you
support?
telling me that that's all you're going to give her doesn't really, that's
a threat?
neither here nor there. So what, is there anything you'd like to say about what you do or don't earn? Because that's kind of what I'm listening for right now.
I don't know. I'm just ready to get this over with.
Okay. Do you raise dogs?
Do I raise dogs?
You sell Frenchies on the side?
No, I'm scared of dogs.
Okay. Ms. Hilton, is there anything else you'd like to say?
No, Judge Baker, that's all.
So this is a modification. What was the prior child support?
The prior child support was set at 0. The parties had agreed to deviate.
Okay. Has anything changed since then?
Yes. Hold on, Judge. Your Honor, at the previous order, the parties lived together, and they currently do not live together. Or they were going to live together. So if I may ask Ms. Hilton some questions about that.
Okay.
May I, Judge?
You may do so.
Ms. Hilton, in the previous order, you both agreed to deviate it to 0 because you were going to move in together. Is that correct?
No, ma'am, this is what happened. He had some issues going on and he had moved to Texas. He would fly back and forth to Atlanta to Texas. So I was willing to help him out at the time and he was doing a little more. And then we never lived together ever.
Did he move in per the way that so he didn't move in, and that was the reason that y'all had put 0 in the order, correct?
He was moving to Texas, and he stated that he was going to help out with my daughter, and he was giving me a little cash at the time. But it stopped. Mm-hmm.
It stopped, and you're not living together per what the order says, that you're deviating to 0, correct?
Mm-hmm. Yes, ma'am. I'm sorry, I think my camera froze.
No, you're good. We're here.
Yeah. That happened. Yeah, that's what had happened. He had moved back to Texas at the time.
So I have a question. In this prior order from 2021, it looks like you were working at Burger King.
Ma'am?
I'm looking at the prior order from 2021.
Yes, ma'am.
And it says you were working at Burger King.
Yes, ma'am. I was at the actual store then.
So when did you stop working for them?
Probably like 3 years ago.
And what have you done since then?
I've been like cutting grass.
Why'd you stop working for them?
Relocation. I moved to a different side of town. I couldn't make the drive.
And are you living in Galveston County now, Houston?
Oh no, I live in Georgia, Atlanta.
You live in Georgia.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, based on the testimony presented, I am going to find and base support based on the presumption of minimum wage. Well, actually, what is, give me a moment, I'm going to do some math. Okay, based on the testimony presented and finding there's a material and substantial change in circumstance since the prior order, parties no longer live together. I'm going to modify the child support. The prior cash medical of $50 each month will continue. I'm going to find that Mr. Williams is in medical support arrears $1,962.23 as of February 28th, 2025. am ordering a medical support judgment against him in the amount of $1,962.23 as of February 28th, 2025. That judgment will accrue interest per the Family Code of Texas, and I am ordering, sir, that you pay that back at a rate of $20 each month beginning April 1st, 2025, with a step up that will include the current child support I'm about to order when your child emancipates if there's still money due owing. Please know, though, even though I'm ordering a payout, this is technically all due and owing, and other remedies can be taken against you by Ms. Hilton or by the AG's office to collect this money as appropriate. I am going to modify the support, and I'm finding that the presumption of minimum wage applies. So I just have to do the calculation. So do you have any other children?
Yes, ma'am.
How many other biological children do you have?
Oh, biological, 2, 1.
There's no court orders, Judge.
Do you have any court orders to? I've heard no testimony on this, so I need to ask the question.
Oh, 2. Did you talk to me, Judge?
Yes, well.
If I may, Judge. Mr. Williams, do you have a child support order for any other kids that it's court ordered?
No, we have a agreement.
Do any children live with you?
No, ma'am.
Okay, so child support, I'm ordering child support of $222 each month, beginning April 1st, 2025, and the $50 a month cash medical support will continue.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you, Judge.
The state's going to draft the order based on my ruling today. They'll be sending it to you shortly through DocuSign to review and sign off on.
And Judge Baker, can I say something?
Ma'am, I've made my ruling, so the AG's office is going to have you go back to the breakout room, and you'll get a chance to talk to them there.
All right, have a good day, Judge.
Okay, they're going to have you go back to the breakout room as well, sir. And
Don't leave, Mr. Williams.
Okay. Thank you. Have a good day.
Thank you. You too.
Yes, ma'am.
Yep, it says she agrees to get nothing. It don't matter if they did $5 a month, he still wasn't going to pay. That's how he rolls. We're going to go over to what time is it? It might be time to go home. Let's do one more Judge Boyd. We got one more Judge Boyd in us, and then we'll get out of here.
All right, court is calling 2024 CR 012909 State versus John Paul Raymond Gill. Could our parties announce for the record for the state? Defense? And are you Mr. Gill?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you understand that what you're charged with is unauthorized use of a vehicle? That's a state jail felony. Range of punishment is anywhere from 180 days, 2 years in the state jail facility, and up to $10,000 fine. Did you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
If you have a plea bargain agreement with the state, the court does not have to follow your plea. If for any reason the court does not follow your plea and gives you more than you bargained for, the fact that you entered a plea will not be used against you, and you will be allowed to withdraw your plea. Did you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
According to the plea, punishment is to be assessed at 180 days in the Bexar County Jail under 1244, and there are no applications. Did you understand that to be the plea? I'm telling you, what is going on with the day? Yeah. Next I'm going to say, Sean, 365 years or something. All right. Well, we're going to pitch in like I was trying to make sure that you knew what's going on. So let me, the glasses are not for reading. So 160 days in the Bexar County Jail under 1244, and there are no applications. Did you understand that to be the plea?
Yes, ma'am.
Defense, is that the plea?
Yes, it is.
State, is that the plea?
Yes, Your Honor.
Are you proceeding with sentencing?
Yes.
Anything you wish to say on behalf of your client?
No, Your Honor.
All right, court will find you guilty. The court will sentence you to 160 days in the Bexar County Jail under 1244. Give you credit for any time served. And there's to be no contact with Victoria Love Sanchez Aguirre. How old are you?
35.
All right, let me explain something to you, and this is based upon not my experience on going to prison, but people I've represented on parole who were in prison. Do you like your hair?
Yes, I'm very good.
Let me just tell you something. When you go to prison, you know what they do?
Yeah,
So if you want to lose your hair, you will continue. If that's something you truly care about, as opposed to asking questions when you're driving a stolen vehicle, then you keep on the same path you're going on. What's going to end up happening when they send you to prison, they cut your hair off. That's why you see people who are in prison, all their hair is cut off because that's what they do.
yes,
You understand?
very much.
And then the other thing, my understanding at the Bear County Jail, they have lice as well. So
Funny.
if you get lice in the hair, I think they're gonna want to buzz it as opposed to doing every treatment. You understand? All right, good luck to you.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Yeah, I'm out front.
Yes,
And I? No, it's about him. Oh, well.
yes.
Veronica Love,
Mm-hmm.
Victoria Love. She's in the unauthorized use of a motor vehicle. It wasn't Miss Love's car. There's another lady's name.
Oh, I know. Was she in the vehicle with
You
him?
were in the vehicle. Okay.
All right, let me just tell you, is this about having no contact?
No, they're together right now. They're
No, I mean, is this about me issuing a no contact order?
on her, with respect to my client on her.
Yeah, there's a reason for that. And let me tell you what the reason for that is. And so you can understand why that is. So let me go to the police report. Because sometimes, I read everything that's put before me. All right. So synopsis, first paragraph. You get pulled over. You're the driver of the vehicle. And she is S2. And it says S1 and S2 were found to have active warrants for their arrest after identifying themselves. So your warrant for your arrest wasn't for this unauthorized use of a vehicle. It was for something else. And she had a warrant for her arrest. And who is that sitting with her? Is that your mom or her mom? That's your mom? All right, your mom should want better for you. And let me explain why you should want better for him. And I'm sure you do, but he's not listening. Suspect 2, that's her, started crying and getting nervous. I then read suspect 2 her Miranda warning, and suspect 2 stated, the listed narcotics and money in the stolen vehicle were hers. Suspect 2 narcotics later found in her purse by her feet area on the front seat floorboard after a search of the vehicle was conducted. That's why you can't have contact with her. So what they found in the vehicle that she's claiming, 3.7 grams field tested positive for cocaine. Now, normally when the officers are weighing stuff out in the field, you really can't trust that weight.
No.
Sometimes it turns out to be less than a gram, but they do a presumptive field test of it. So presumptively it's positive for cocaine. Presumptively is 3.7 grams. They found 5 THC vape pens at 3 grams each, multiple baggies of green leafy substance from my training and police experience, which I know to be marijuana. And that was 8.85 ounces in her purse. Suspect 1 was also read his Miranda warnings and refused to say anything about the narcotics or the listed currency in S2's possession. Now, based upon that, I don't know why she want to be with you, because if you're my man, you should be like, you know what? I'm going to take this case for her because that's my woman and I won't see any harm come to her. But you were just like, I'm not saying anything. She's claiming it as her own. So you guys should not be together. That's why. And I guarantee you, your mom does not want you with her because you two are not good together. And y'all just going to continue to pick up more cases. So that's a no. And that's why I have a no contact with her. Do you want to get your life together?
She's the mother of my kid.
You all can do that through a third party. I'm sure, Mom, will you be willing to transport children so he doesn't have contact with her? Mm-hmm.
Thank you, Jill.
Mm-hmm.
And I can try to do third party yet.
Yeah. So your mom can do third party. You all should not be together. And let me just tell you, if your child, your mom is saying your child is in NICU, if that baby is in NICU because of what mom has been ingesting or whatever, CPS is going to be involved. And let me just tell you what CPS normally does. If one of you all don't get your life together, your children are going to end up going to somebody else. Either you're going to step up to the plate or she's going to step up to the plate. And you're at that point in your life where your children should be more important to you than a woman. That's where we are. So Victoria Love Sanchez Aguirre, you're not to have contact with her. Here you are. Thank you, Mom.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
You're welcome.
Sure. But you know, she was born in the previous, she came early.
Okay.
But yeah, I understand.
All right. And then, you know, he can still go to the hospital to see her, but they need to be on different shifts.
Yeah, no, that's, yeah, she's not allowed to see the baby right now.
All right. See, that's what I mean. That's why, see, you see what I'm saying?
I get you.
All right.
I have 4 boys, I know.
All right. Thank you so much. They'll probably release him from jail at like midnight or 1 a.m.
They don't stay there no longer, I'm fine.
All right. Thank you.
All right, thank you so much.
You're welcome. Oh, thank you. You're so welcome. I do what I can.
It's okay. They,
Yes. Are you proceeding with sentencing or do you wish for a reset for PSI or a reset for you to have witnesses to come on your client's behalf?
We'll wait for PSI, Judge.
All right. Do you wish to proceed with sentencing?
Please. Yes.
All right. State? Defense said they're proceeding with sentencing. And do you wish to proceed with sentencing today, Mr. Garcia?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right. State you're at a cap of 6.
Yes, Your Honor.
And what are you requesting?
Okay, requesting 6, Your Honor. If you'd like argument right now, I can give it to you.
Yes.
Your Honor, this individual does have 2 previous convictions where he fifth time sex assault corrections, so we believe that he would willfully waive that, and 6 years is substantially lower than the 25 minimum that would have been due.
All right. Defense?
Judge, I have nothing to say other than that I think 6 years is a fairly.
Here. All right. So, Mr. Garcia, what I can tell you is you are lucky that this is the offer because 1, you do have priors. You have been to prison before. And from reading the police report, you've read that, right?
Yeah.
Do you understand everything that you did?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right. You could have been, well, you did endanger other lives when you get into these high-speed chases and crossing across medians. All right. The court is going to find you guilty, sentence you to 6 years in the prison, give you credit for any time served. All right. We can go off the record. Well, good luck to you. And I tell you, your tattoos, if they were on Ink Master, they'll say that the shading is good.
Thank you.
You know, the dark shading. They do a lot of black ink tattoos on Ink Masters. So what did you want to tell me about the buffalo thing?
Buffalo theory of alcohol. This is according to Norm, who knows everything.
Norm from Cheers. Yes.
You know how buffaloes, a herd of buffalo gets hunted by wolves. And the wolves only catch the weakest, slowest buffalo, thereby making the herd as a whole substantially faster. Likewise, alcohol kills brain cells, but alcohol only kills the weakest and slowest brain cells. That is why you feel smarter after a 6-pack. That's the buffalo theory.
Okay. And I called myself, had watched Cheers. I'm gonna have to look for that episode.
How do you know?
Now I know.
So now they're talking about Cheers, a show that probably half the people on this channel were too young to even remember. I remember watching that show. I never liked TV shows, so I didn't care much for it, but it's always something people were watching. All right, everybody, we're going to get out of here. Y'all have a good night. Let's see. All right, today is not Friday, so we will see you tomorrow morning at Judge Fleischer's court. Y'all have a good night, and we're out.